So I picked a bunch of beans and I was surprised at how many were ready, and I got them snapped and washed and in the pot. Here we go. Beautiful green beans. Now see, those were the purple stripy ones, the rattlesnake beans, and now they're just all green. I added the beans, a quart of chicken broth, and some ham pieces. So tonight with the green beans, we are also going to have salmon patties. And I am going to make these low carb. So I cannot abide. So tonight with the green beans, we are also going to have salmon patties. And I am going to make these low carb. So I cannot abide all this slimy stuff. So the skin's got to go and all the bones have got to go. You know, when my mom made salmon, she never took the bones out, which I always found really gross. I mean, they are soft, so they, you know, you're not going to choke on them or anything, and you probably don't even know for the most part that they're there. But just knowing they're there grosses me out. So let's get rid of the skin and the bones. Like, see these little spine bones? I don't want those in there. What do you guys do? Let me know below. Do you eat the skin and bones? Do you take them out? What's your thing there? Okay, so this big old jar is breadcrumbs, bread just Basically all it is low carb bread, and I have just like, it's all heels pretty much, and just leave it set out till it's completely dry, and then I break it up and put it in the jar. And I use this for dressing or to make breadcrumbs or whatever. I ran the dishwasher. Forgot I had my blender thing, my blades in there. Had water in the bottom. So let's see if we can get her dried out enough to use. That ought to do it. Okay, so I'm just going to take some of these crumbs, or pieces of bread, I guess they are. Just broken up bread. And I'm going to use my little, actually it's a smoothie maker, but it's got a chopper on it. It's a Rocket Extractor Pro by Bella. Real similar, probably pretty much exactly the same thing as like a Ninja. Or a bullet, I guess that's what they are. Anyway, I might need a little more than that. So I'm going to go ahead and just dump that in there. No, that might be. We'll see. If we need more, I'll blend more. Anyway, that's the second one of those Bella brands that I've had, and the first one lasted me about 15 years, so I like them. This one I've had 2 or 3 years. I use it as my spice grinder. I use it just for lots of different things. So I put 2 eggs. So basically 1 per can of salmon. And I always rinse my eggs out, my shells out. And I have a number 10 can down below my sink that I throw them in, and then I use my grinder and I grind them up and make calcium, eggshell calcium for my tomato plants. Alright, so I am going to put about a teaspoon and a half of Old Bay seasoning, which doesn't want to seal back up. It's a new jar too. Come on, Old Bay. And I'm going to put about a teaspoon of my house seasoning. Just a good sprinkle of this Goya Adobo all-purpose seasoning. Again, it's very salty, so you got to be careful what you use it with and how much you use. I'm going to put a couple of good handfuls, so probably a good half a cup of onion. This is my freeze-dried onion. I am going to put a little garlic in here. Probably a tablespoon. We love our garlic. A little lemon juice. I don't have any fresh lemons. I never have any fresh lemons, guys. They always go bad on me. So, and that was probably a tablespoon. So I just use concentrate. And a good squeeze of mustard. Okay. And I'm just going to give that a good mix and see where we're at with the breadcrumbs. got to get in there with my hands. I just can't tell. Yeah, I think that's about right. All right, now let me wash my hands and we'll get the cast iron skillet going. Just kind of move you so you can see a little bit of both. Okay, now this I keep in the freezer. This is pork panko crumbs. Basically all this is I did the same thing. I actually probably used my, what the heck is my blender called? Dang it. Vitamix. Thank you. Okay, I used my Vitamix and I poured a couple of bags of pork rinds. That's all this is. You can buy pork panko crumbs from Amazon, from the grocery store, but they're crazy pricey. For about $3, I got this great big 3-pound jar. Well, that's how much peanut butter is in here, 3 or 4 pounds. It's a big one. I got that full for $3, and I think they're $9 or $11 in the store for a much smaller portion. So I feel like that's the way to go. Okay, now let's put some avocado oil in here, and I am also gonna put some ghee. This is some of my homemade ghee. It'll give it a good flavor. And then let that get hot. And while that's getting hot, I am going to put some panko crumbs on a plate. And then I am going to shape some salmon patties. Now if you notice I didn't put salt in here. There's salt in the pork rinds here. There is plenty of salt in the adobo. So I would rather salt later than to have them way too salty. My husband doesn't like things very salty. So anyway, this is what they look like. I just put the panko on the outside. Now I'm just going to put them in the hot oil. And my puppy dog's down here at my feet, hoping like heck I drop a hunk. Do you guys eat salmon patties a lot? I mean, we don't do them a lot. We enjoy them, but we probably don't have them maybe more than 3 times a year. I don't know why we like them. It's certainly cheap enough and easy enough. Every time I make them, I think, oh, I'm going to make these more often, but I don't think of it. Was this something you had growing up? Because I can tell you this is something we had regularly growing up, and that's because it was such a cheap meal, and we grew up kind of poor. And it was easy. My mom was a terrible cook. I wish I could say differently, but I cannot brag on my mom's cooking, unfortunately. So this was easy and it was cheap. Of course, she didn't put any breadcrumbs on the outside. She just crumbled up crackers with her hands. And I've done that many, many, many times myself. But now that I am low carb for life, basically. Not that I don't ever go off of it, but I have to stick to it because of diabetes, and because it helps me to maintain my weight. And you probably think that's a crazy thing to say if you know my history. I had weight loss surgery. It'll be 4 years. It's July. It'll be 4 years in October this year. And I still battle my weight. I mean, I have not, don't misunderstand me, I haven't put any back on, but I still struggle with the same 5 to 10 pounds up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm at my goal weight, but right now I'm probably 6 pounds over it. I was 10 pounds. It seems like it happens in the winter time when I'm not gardening and I don't have a lot of activities. I tend to gain about 10 pounds, and you know what? I'm going to cancel that. I am not speaking that into being. I have in the past 2 years, but I'm not going to this year. Put on 10 pounds, and then I struggle all summer long. Have in the past struggled all summer long to get it off, and so I still have to watch everything I eat, and I always will. And that's just part of it. I think a lot of people think that when you have weight loss surgery, that's the answer, that's the fix. And it is an incredible tool, an incredible tool. What a blessing it was for me. I have lost, from my highest weight, 165 pounds. And since surgery, 115. So there, you know, I don't know, several years before surgery, I'd lost that 50 and put 20 of it back on, and that's what made me panic, and I did it very quickly. That's what made me panic and decide it was time to do something. So I'm down 165 pounds. I actually am at a really good weight. My surgeon tells me I have somewhere between 30 and 40 pounds of loose skin, and I have that unfortunately everywhere, and it's a huge deal to have it all removed, and it's between 40 and 50 grand to have it done. So it's not that I'm 64 years old. It's not that important to me. Would I like to have all this, excess stuff gone? Sure I would, but I don't need to be Barbie. That's not why I lost the weight. I kind of always thought I would have the surgery, but I just decided it's not important. This world is in a weird place, and that is a very big medical thing. I mean, it's a huge surgery. They're not little things. It's not like they can just go in and, just go in a little hole and do something. They slice you, and, so I would be from like here to here on both arms, here to here and here to here, in my stomach, and the same with my hips and my thighs and my butt, so I mean, it's major deal, and it just isn't that important, I feel good. I'm healthy. I'm at a healthy weight. If you were to subtract 30 to 35 pounds from the weight that I weigh now, I would probably be underweight for my height. I'm 5'8". So, not probably, I would be underweight. So, honestly, I'm where I need to be. So, I'll just live with the jiggle and the sag, and so what? Not only, my money ain't the only thing that jiggles. All right, so here we are, kiddos. Look at those. Now, I almost talked too long and let them get too dark on one side, and I had the heat on too high. So, oops, my mistake. But that's okay. They are going to be delicious anyway. And the beans are beautiful, and most of the liquid has cooked out. I'm going to put just a smidge more water in there. It's really flavorful because I used the broth, but I don't want these to get dry. I got to give them a taste and make sure they're done. You know how I know mine are done? Because, I mean, they could have been done a long time ago. Texture, I mean, not texture-wise, but yeah, I guess texture-wise. But I have an issue with squeaky beans. I cannot stand to chew fresh green beans and they squeak on my teeth. That drives me crazy. So as soon as the squeak is gone, I mean, texture-wise, they would have been done half an hour ago, but I had to get that squeak out. Okay, so we're going to let these cook just a little bit longer on this side. Get those other two done. We'll plate it up. Okay guys, so we've got the last two going. Here is how the salmon patties turned out. And we're going to plate it up and go eat. One more thing. I have some leftover, I guess you're seeing what I'm doing there, aren't you? I've got some leftover cucumber salad that I made a couple days ago, so we need to eat that. Yum. Okay, here's Bill's, here's mine, and we are ready to eat. So guys, that's it for tonight, for today. I thank you for hanging out with me. As always, it is a pleasure to have your company. And I'm gonna eat, get the kitchen cleaned up once again, play with my little ducky, and do some editing. So I will see you on the next video, y'all. Hey, if you haven't subscribed yet and you enjoyed this, please do. Do me a favor, give it a like. And I'm hanging on the camera and banging it, sorry, duh. And yeah, next time. I'll see you in a couple days. God bless. Love you guys. Appreciate you very much. Mwah.